New today, key Trump administration officials reportedly want to ramp up the pace of his immigration crackdown to 3,000 arrests per day. Sources telling Axios that during a tense meeting last week, Stephen Miller and HHS Secretary Kristi Noem demanded that agents triple the number of daily arrests that they were making, despite recent border crossing numbers plummeting. Immigration advocates are warning that this push could lead to more wrongful detentions and also the deportation of undocumented immigrants with no criminal record who have lived in the United States for years and who are otherwise contributing members of their communities. One such case has made headlines in Georgia, where a college student who was wrongfully pulled over wound up detained by ICE for weeks over her undocumented status. Jimena Arias Cristobal is now out on bond, and she's speaking out after she was accused of making an improper turn and lacking a driver's license earlier this month in Dalton, and she was arrested. Following a review of dashcam footage, though, police determined that, quote, Ms. Arias Cristobal's vehicle appeared similar to the offending vehicle, but was not the vehicle that made an improper turn. The citations against her were dropped, but the 19-year-old remained in detention for 2 weeks because of her legal status. Coincidentally, in the same detention center as her father, who's also undocumented. Both were later released on bond and then reunited with their family. But where things go from here is uncertain. Born in Mexico, Jimena came to the United States with her parents at 4 years old. Her attorneys are now exploring options for her to stay in the country, including an investigation they hope could lead to what's known as a U visa, a type of visa set aside for victims of certain crimes who've suffered mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement or government officials in the investigation or prosecution of criminal activity. False imprisonment, we should point out, is listed as one qualifying criminal activity. We're joined now live by Jimena Arias Cristobal. Thank you so much for being with us, Jimena. First and foremost, just how are you doing through all this?
I'm doing okay through everything, but it's hard.
And I understand that you are scared in part to leave your home. I wonder what advice your attorneys have given you about what you should be doing at your activities as these proceedings play out in court.
They've advised me to stay at home as much as I can, and if I do go out, because they know some people have to go out at times, to be very careful and just be very cautious of my surroundings and know that not everybody has a best interest.
Yeah. I want to kind of step back and get a better understanding for the circumstances in which you find yourself in. When did you first learn that you were undocumented?
I think I was around, it was very early on. I was probably around 6 or 7. My parents made it very clear, and ever since then I've known.
Had they taken steps prior to all of this to attain legal status? Had that been something ongoing?
Yes, it was. I know a lot of people think we've been here 15 years, we had enough time to obtain citizenship, but to be honest, it's very, very hard to obtain citizenship or residency. We tried various times. We hired lawyer after lawyer asking, what's the pathway to citizenship, residency, or a permit? And they just told us, you have to wait for something to change, or you have to wait for Jimena to get older and get married, or have U.S. citizen children. There was never a clear path for us.
And I just want to make sure, had you ever been arrested before? Had you ever been accused or charged of any crime?
No, absolutely not. I had never been in any type of problem anywhere.
So what do you say to the Trump administration and those who argue that by simply being here, you're breaking the law?
My family and I were aware that we broke the law by being here without the proper documentation, but I think we tried to take the steps to do so, and the system didn't really allow us to. So I would just tell them to be a little bit understanding, be a little bit compassionate towards people in my situation who truly don't have a criminal record, who are working, who are a great example of what a citizen should look like. They should give us an opportunity and find a way for us to be able to be here legally.
I remember watching the dash cam video of your arrest. It was startling for you. I could tell because at one point when the officer said that you were under arrest, you responded with that you couldn't miss final exams. You're majoring, I understand, in finance at Dalton State, where you were in scholarships to attend. I wonder, with that in context, what would it mean for your future to be deported and to return to Mexico?
I'm not 100% sure, but it would be very hard for me to start college in Mexico. Although I am fluent in Spanish and I'm able to read it, it'll be very difficult being having to write and just go into college where it's full Spanish. And I just think it'll be very hard to be able to take that up again if I was in Mexico.
Have you made any contingency plans in case you do get deported? Do you have any family or a support system there? Or would you essentially be moving to a place that you don't really know?
Essentially, I would be moving to a place I don't really know. Although I do have family in Mexico, it's not family that I'm close to. So most of them I haven't met. So I would be moving to a place I'm not familiar with.
I understand that your attorneys are now investigating your arrest in the hopes that it could help you attain this U visa, which is meant for crime victims. You know, a skeptical person might say that people get pulled over by mistake all the time. I wonder why you think it is that what happened to you qualifies as a crime.
Um, I'm not 100%, I couldn't really speak on that because I'm not very educated on that topic, but it just because it was a false arrest and they did pull over the wrong vehicle, it falls into the category. So fortunately for me and my family, if that is the step we can take, then it will be best for us. But I'm not quite sure. I can't really speak on it as
Sure.
much because I'm not really sure.
Understood. I do wonder what it's like to be in your community right now, because I know that 70% of Whitfield County, where you're from, voted for President Trump, and also about 1/3 of the people in your community are immigrants. Many of them, I imagine, in similar circumstances, not having papers. Do you see the community as having changed since all of this happened? What have you heard from folks around you, neighbors?
I do. We have a lot of friends around here, and we've just heard that Hispanics are taking a lot more precaution being out and just being a lot safer with what they're doing. As for people that voted for Trump, I think my situation in some way opened some of their eyes because I think whenever they voted for Trump, they thought, okay, we're going to get all the criminals out. And then they see that I got arrested, somebody that was in college, volunteered in the community, and they saw what had happened to me, and it kind of made them feel a different way towards them voting for Trump.
And Jimena, there's an untold number of people, I should say, in this country that are in your same situation. They're young people who fear they may be deported despite having built their lives in the United States. What would you say to those folks?
I'd say to be very cautious with how they go about their everyday life, but I would also want them to know that that piece of document doesn't define them as a person, and that with the voice I have right now, I'm going to try to spread awareness about the situation a lot of people face, and hopefully there's some kind of movement in the system that can help people like us who really are contributing to the United States and not breaking any laws.
Jimena Arias Cristobal, we are so grateful that you've shared your story with us. Please keep us posted on what comes next, and we wish you good luck.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.